and becoming the best at it and mastering myself and seeing what I have within me, if you decide to drop your buckets where you are and develop your gifts, I grant you, you'll never ever be without. I grant you that your gifts will take you places that will literally amaze you.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Zenfolio Live. I'm Robert with Zenfolio Customer Success. Thanks for joining us. Today is Thursday, February 21st, which means it's the third Thursday of the month, which means it's time for live site reviews. So today I'm going to be doing reviews for 4 of our awesome users. We're going to be going through Donna Young Photography, AM Imagery, Michigan Nut, and Ford Exposure. So I'm super excited about jumping in here, doing some site reviews, giving you guys some constructive feedback on your website, and helping you be successful here on Zenfolio. Now, those of you guys who are watching, and if this is your first time watching, make sure that you click the subscribe button. We do the live streams every week. And if this is your first time, say hi to us in the chat. A lot of you guys have already been chatting with me. We've got Home Phone saying aloha, Dana Castillo, Tristina, Morphus, Donna, I can't read, you guys. Tristina, Donna Young, and Kathleen, Paula Dobson, Roxanne, John McCormick, Jorgen, Forward Exposure, and let me make sure I say hi to everybody, and Mike Singer, Vince Miller, and Thorben Hicks, Karen Forte hanging out with us again today, and John McLung saying howdy. So I'm going to keep chatting with you guys. Go ahead and start throwing your questions in the chat. You don't have to wait till I finish the site reviews. Make sure that you're getting those questions live. We've got Cheryl hanging out, helping me with the moderation. I appreciate you guys jumping on here. And let's just go ahead and dive right into the live site review. Now, before I do that, though, if you're interested in having your site reviewed, there's a link in the description below. And also, if you guys can take like 2 seconds, in the top right corner of the screen, you'll see a little circle with an I in it. There's a short poll there. I just want to know what your guys' thoughts are on the live site reviews. Should this be something that's done more often than just once a month? If you guys can take that poll really quick and let me know, that way I can give you guys more of what you want. But let's go ahead and jump into the site reviews. All right, so up first is Donna Young, and I have to say, Donna, I was really impressed with a lot of stuff that you've done to your site here. You have done some really cool custom pages, and really, I'm just going to be going through and kind of being a little nitpicky because there's a couple of just small things that I feel like would really make your site much better. It's really good like it is, but there's a few small things that we can do to really improve this. So starting out here, the homepage is really nice. It's really clean. It's really simple. Let me scroll down so you guys can see all of it here really quick. So it's really nice. And one of the big things that I love that I see a lot of people not do is, Donna, you've got your location right here on the homepage. So within 2-3 seconds of being here on your homepage, I know if I'm a potential client, I know whether you service my area or not. And this is something that a lot of people miss and they don't do. So it's really awesome to have that right there on the homepage. But let's go back up and let's talk about the images here really quick. So the last time when I was reviewing this, I went over and I was looking through your images, and it looks like there's about, I think, 34 images set on this homepage, and they're set to show at about 3 seconds a piece. So that's 2 solid minutes of slideshows. And I tend to be a little impatient, and so I was kind of hoping I could click through. So one of the things you might think about doing is trimming those images down just a little bit, maybe starting with like your best 10 to 15 photos here, because we don't want people sitting here on the homepage just watching through the images. We want them to take action. And so trimming that down a little bit, just showing your best of best here on the homepage might help encourage them and let them know, you know, hey, you've seen all of these. Now they can go take another step. Now, one of the things that I've seen people do that's really cool with the homepage images is they've added some text over each photo and actually had it set to tell a little bit of a story. And that way you engage the people who are viewing it, and there's definitely a beginning and an end. And there was like a call to action on that last photo of like, why don't you check out my portfolio or contact me? So something like that, even on here, would be really nice as well. Let's see. Your welcome message down here, again, is really, really nice. One of the things you might think about is, even though you say based in Aurora, Colorado, which is nice that you have that, serving the Denver metro area, maybe for search purposes, you might think about calling out some of the specific suburbs and stuff around in that area, just specifically listing them out there. That is going to be helpful for your search. But other than that, this welcome message is pretty nice. There are, not that I'm a grammar Nazi, because if I was writing this out, I would do the same thing. But there are definitely a couple of run-on sentences in here. So just a little nitpicky things. You might want to take a look at that, rewrite a few of these, add some periods. I would have done the same exact thing. But overall, really great welcome message. And I love that you have the location information in here as well. I just don't see that very often, so it's nice to have that in there. All right, let's see. Let's go on to your contact page. So one of the things I thought was interesting was having the contact page right here next to that. But let's click on the contact page. We'll just take a look really quick. I mean, this is perfectly fine. It's just the Zenfolio built-in compact contact page. Has all the information we could possibly need in here to get in touch with you. So I think that's perfectly fine. Now, one of the things that I did notice, Donna, on your site is that when I switched from the home page to any of your other pages, your site menu up here changes. And so that's happening because on your home page, you're using your homepage menu up here. And then when we go to this page, it's switching over to the header. My suggestion would be to keep your navigation consistently the same across your website. Go ahead and switch your homepage to use the header menu. But I have to say that I do like the styling of the homepage menu better. So what you might think about doing is going into Theme Designer and editing your header menu to look more like your homepage menu. And then you can use that header menu across your entire website. Now, everybody who's getting a site review today, I've already emailed them a link. I'm not just going to come on here and review their site. We're actually going to be doing one-on-one sessions, going over the information that we covered, and I'm going to be answering any questions and helping you make any changes that you want. Hopefully you guys have got that email. If you haven't, just reach out and let me know. But I look forward to doing those sessions with you guys as well. All right, moving on with the site review here. Let's go next to the news page. And this is really cool. And it opens up to a new page, so you guys can't see, but it left her Zenfolio site. But she did it right because it opened it in a new tab. So let me just bring this down really quick so you guys can see what happened. Anytime you put a link in your site menu or a link anywhere on your site that is going to take people away from your Zenfolio navigation, I definitely recommend having that set to open up in a new tab so that they don't lose your Zenfolio navigation. So when I click this news, it's going to pop up and just the newsletter sign up right here. And we still have the page over here. So this is really nice. I think this is a MailChimp sign up, which is really great. You can, Donna, embed this into a custom page so that they never actually leave your Zenfolio site and they still have your navigation up to the top. And that's definitely one thing that we can go over during the session. But at least you did set it up to open up in that new tab so that they're not taken completely away from your website. So good job there. Let me close that. Let me drag this back up. And let's keep moving on here. We're going to go next to the portfolio. And I'm just going to start with maternity here. All right. So on the portfolio page, I noticed you created all custom pages for your portfolio pages, which is a big thumbs up for taking the time to do that. A lot of people don't even get in here and play around with the custom pages. So kudos to you for doing that. And especially one of the things that you did that I thought was amazing is that right down here in the header menu here, you have this contact me up at the top of every one of your portfolio pages, which I think is really nice. Even though the contact page is right here, it's just another call out that's nice to get people's attention. And so just scrolling down here, looking at the images, the portfolio is set up pretty nicely. Now, one of the things is this is a custom page. So one of the things that I did find myself wanting to do and getting a little frustrated was that I couldn't click on the images and see them larger. So there's actually no click action to where they pop up larger. That's a function that you can turn on or disable, I think, in the custom page. So that's something that we can look at, Donna, but I would love to be able to click these and view them a little larger. Also, too, since it's a custom page, we're going to be working within that 900 pixel width limit unless you turn it off. And my guess is that you probably created this before we enable the option to turn off that width. So that's why this is kind of a narrower page, which is okay, but it would be nice to have it fill out the page. So maybe what we might think about doing is going back and maybe creating these portfolios with galleries, because you're going to get a couple of additional options. But I think it's really cool, and a big thumbs up for taking the time to figure out custom pages and go in here with this. So all of your portfolios, I'm pretty sure, are set up exactly the same. Again, really the big thing is I just wanted to be able to click the images and see them a little larger. They're so beautiful. Especially the kids' images. I was showing these to some people, you know, in Zenfolio. I was sending the site links around, and everybody was commenting on how beautiful these newborn photos are. They're so adorable. I have kids. I love seeing newborn photos. I love seeing photos of kids, but I wanted to click on them and see them a little bit larger. All right, so let's see. That's all I have for the portfolio page. And we're going to come back and talk about the entire site menu as well here in a second. I just want to kind of keep going down the line. So for the experience here, this was pretty interesting. She has session details up here, all kinds of information here about the sessions, all kinds of different stuff. And then down in the bottom, she has that contact me again. I love how that is all over your site. Just that call to action for contact right here like this. One of the things I did notice, the heirloom artwork page link is broken. So if I click on that, it's taking me to this. So that's definitely something that we need to look at. I don't know if that was a custom page that got deleted, but it's not working now from the experience page. But overall, I mean, I think the experience page is great. One of the things you could do here on this custom page, Donna, since this is not just about your newborns, this could be a slideshow here. So this could be a slideshow kind of showing an image that represents each session that you're offering here. But overall, the custom page, I mean, you've done a phenomenal job with the custom pages. So again, kudos to you. You've done an amazing job with the custom pages. Let's see. Let me go through here really quick. A couple more things. Let's go over here to, which one am I looking at here next? Finished. And I love how you have this. This is a beautiful custom page, just showing the product up in the house, showing the frames, all of this information. And again, just adding these links in here, or just taking that extra time to do that and giving people the option to click that action right when they're in the middle of reading it is just really, really awesome. Down here, all the different pictures of your products. I mean, this is a fantastic custom page. Great job. Great job here having this. It's so nice to be able to see this stuff. And I'm sure that your clients and your visitors really appreciate this page. Let's see. Other one. One of the things. Let's go to investment. Let's see. Investment. I think all of this is fine. This did confuse me just a little bit because it kind of takes me to the other pages. So I wasn't quite sure what the purpose behind it was. And that's something that we can go in more detail during our session. But one of the things, guys, is making sure that your pages make a lot of sense. For instance, when I went to investment, I wasn't sure why I was seeing this. And then I could go back to the session fee or go to the artwork page, which I believe, again, this is that link I think that's not working. Oh, it is working from here. Okay, so we just need to fix it on the other page. All right, let's go back up here. About Donna. And Donna, you got a nice about page, a nice amount of text here, and nice being able to read this information about you. Guys, one of the things I would really urge you guys to do is do a video on your about page if you can. There is something about just having that video where you can talk about your work. People can really connect, because once they've decided that they like your work, are they going to enjoy working with you as a photographer? And there is no better way to let that come across than just doing a short 2-minute about video, talking about, maybe talking about how you work with clients, why you love what you do. Just a few minutes to really let your personality come through and shine. It's just going to be super beneficial to that about page. But overall, I mean, you did a good job writing up your about page right here. You added a nice photo, which is nice. Again, having a video would be really, really nice here as well. All right, let's jump into the blog really quick. And the blog, the last update was January 14th, 2019. Let's go and just keep going down. So December. All right, so it looks like so far you're pretty consistent, but we are coming up on the end of February, so you need to sneak a February blog in really quick. Just make sure that if you have a blog up, that you're consistent with those posts. At least try to get one in there once a month so that you can make sure that you're staying on top of it. So when people come here, they're seeing a recent post and you're just staying on top of those things. Okay, let me take a look here. There was one more thing I wanted to point out on this, and then I'm going to be moving on to the next one because I want to make sure I have time to get your guys' questions. Down here, Donna, a little nitpicky, but the contact link, the contact me button right here, was just a different color than the rest of your links. So just something to make sure that you're keeping that brand consistent color going through. But again, that's a theme issue and it's a really simple fix. So overall, I think your website is great. We might talk a little bit about reorganizing the site menu a little bit, consolidating a few things together. Overall, though, really impressed with what you've done on your site. Great work. Your work is beautiful. And just a few small things that we can do to really polish that up and make this website just fantastic. So great job, Donna. Give it a thumbs up. Awesome, awesome stuff. All right, let me go to the next one here, which is AM Imagery. All right, so AM Imagery. And guys, if you have questions as I'm going through this, make sure that you get those in the chat. Cheryl's going to be putting those on a doc, and I'm going to be answering them here in a second for you guys. You don't have to wait till I get finished. It doesn't have to be about website design. It doesn't have to be about site reviews. It can be about anything Zenfolio related. And yes, absolutely, Donna. Thank you so much for just sending me your site and letting us do the live site review. Everybody today. So we've got Donna, we've got AM, Michigan, and Forward Exposure. If I don't say it again, I want to say thank you guys for being a part of this and letting me review your site live. So let's talk about AM Imagery here. Now, my first question is, I looked all over this site and I cannot find a name. So I'm assuming that it's something that starts with an A, but I'm just curious. I looked all over your website, could not actually find your name. What do you guys in the chat think about that? If you're using a business name rather than your name, do you feel like it's still important to give your name on your website? I kind of feel like it's important because when a client or a potential client reaches out to me, I think there's probably a couple of important things. One, they should probably know what I look like. Two, they should probably know my name so that they can call or email with confidence and use my name instead of being like, hi. So let me know what you guys think about that in the chat. Do you think the name should be on here or no? Okay. So we're going to start out here with the homepage. Again, the homepage is nice and clean. One of the things that I did notice is there's not a custom logo up here. This is just the display name. And I noticed later on that you do have a custom logo. It's on a couple of the other pages. So you might think about getting that up in here. The one thing you want to do is start establishing that brand consistency, getting people to recognize your logo from the start. So making sure that you have that across your site. If you're going to use a custom logo on your about page, make sure that's on your header so it's all across the website. Some of the images as well, as I was paying attention to them, a couple of them have different watermarks on them. So if I go, let me see if I can find it here really quick. There was one. No, there was one. Somewhere it had a different watermark on it, but it looks like it might have been changed. So I was looking at it the other day, and there was one that had one watermark, and then it had a different watermark. So if you already changed that, kudos to you for catching that. But making sure that on your homepage, if you're going to have watermarks on the images on your homepage, making sure that those are consistent and it's the same watermark. What do you guys think in the chat? How do you guys feel about watermarks on homepage images? Do you think it's a necessity? Do you not put them on there? I'm kind of on the fence. Like, I totally understand the concern about people stealing your images, but then at the same time too, the homepage, like, this is where you want to wow people. Do you want to have these photos watermarked? What do you guys think? Let me know. But okay, so the homepage, those are the few things that I saw was just the inconsistency. Another thing really quick too is you do have Pinterest up here linked. I don't know if you guys can see that. You have Pinterest up here, your social media. When I clicked on it, it looks like you've created a couple of boards but haven't really added anything to it. If you're not going to be active on that social media network, it's better to go ahead and remove it than to have it up there. People click on it and then see that you're not active. So if you're not going to use Pinterest, I would definitely pull that down. For there. Now the next thing too, guys, and let me see if I can't get, let me just swap over really quick here. There we go. Get myself a thing out of the next thing I saw up here too was the search option right here. If you are not optimizing your images for search, and if you don't want people to search your website, I would go ahead and turn that search option off from your site menu, because it's gonna be a little weird if people go there and they are like, okay, what am I searching for? And they search, and either they're not gonna find anything or they're gonna find things that maybe you didn't want them to find. The other thing too is that if you haven't looked at this, there's this little drop down right here, and it says search this photographer's website or search all photos on Zenfolio. So that's an option that you definitely want to be aware of, because you might not want people being able to search all of Zenfolio if you're wanting them to search. So go take a look at your header and see if it has that search option. If you're not optimizing for search, I would go ahead and remove that. Okay, next let's just go ahead in here under the portraits, and we'll just start here. So portraits, urban, and I'm going to have to say I am a little confused by the site menu. I would kind of expect this to be maybe portfolio with a couple of these other options falling under portfolio. So one thing to think about there is you want to have your site menu really clear to your visitors. Statistics usually show that people spend maybe about 3 seconds on a website, and if they can't find a clear path to get to what they're looking for, then they're gone. And so making sure that your site menu is really clear, letting people know this is my portfolio, and you know, maybe this is where you go to purchase sessions, different things like that. Even though it might make sense to you, try to look at it from the eyes of a potential client and setting it up so that they follow a path that you want them to follow. Now, that being said, in here on the gallery, this is the urban, I'm assuming this is your urban portraits portfolio. Now, it's nice that you have a caption up here, But one of the things I would really love to see is I would love to hear about locations. So when I was on your homepage, I had no idea what locations you service. Now I'm here in the urban portraits. And if you're going to put a caption in here, it would be really nice to call out some specific locations so that I kind of get a sense of what area you're servicing. So I know, hey, even though this photographer's website showed up in a photographers near me search, I'm not seeing any of my locations here. So I'm going to be slightly hesitant about reaching out because I don't want to contact somebody that I'm not sure can even help me. I'd rather just go on and search for somebody else. So including that location information, I believe, is going to be really helpful as well. And you've got a spot right here. You can do it right in that gallery caption. If there are specific places that you like to work at, if there's a certain park, if there's a certain part of the city, calling those out is going to help your visitors, but it's also going to help you for search results as well. So that's one thing to think about. Now, the other thing as well is, since this is a portfolio gallery, at least I'm assuming it's a portfolio gallery, if I hover over the image, I have all of this stuff popping up. So you definitely want to keep these distracting elements off of this here. The social media stuff is already up here. The share button is up here already as well. So you might think about hiding these overlays right here, especially the favorites one and the sequence number. As a potential client, as a visitor, I really don't have a need for that sequence number or to be adding these to favorites. Maybe the social media stuff is okay, but I would definitely consider getting rid of this stuff up here for a portfolio gallery. All right. Also, slideshow, select photos, some of this stuff I'm not sure. Is there a reason to select photos other than to add it to favorites? Like, I would probably remove this. So my philosophy on portfolio galleries is anything that a visitor would see and say, hey, I wonder what happens if I click on this. We want to remove that stuff because we want to keep them focused on what we want them to focus on. So something to think about are all those overlays. All right, and I took a look, and I think the rest of the galleries are pretty much set up the same. So let's just go to nature really quick. And same thing in here. You've got this up here. Caption is perfectly fine. Contact me is here, but there's no location information. I'm not sure where you're working from. That contact me, like I was showing you in Donna's site, that contact me could be a link. So somebody could click on that link and go to where they could contact you. I really feel like all these portraits, even though you do all these different portraits, I feel like you could probably take all of those images and pick the best of the best out of those and combine them into just one portraits portfolio rather than having all the separate categories. That way it's a lot easier for me to see your diversity, and it's just going to be a lot less that I have to navigate through as a potential client. Going over to graduations here, I was a little confused by this because it looks like these are recent graduates, or maybe, recent grads that you did their photograph. So what you might think about doing is, rather than calling it graduation, maybe you want to think about calling it featured grads or something like that, so that we know kind of what this is. And again, if this is just portfolio stuff, I would really consider condensing it down and maybe have one grad's portfolio versus having 4 or 5, and just pulling the best of the best from those different galleries into one. It's going to make it easier, quicker for me to navigate and look at your work. And then I think couples is the same thing. Again, I think this could be put over into this drop down as a portfolio drop down. Then you just have the different types of photography that you do all under one drop down, so it's really smooth, easy to navigate, and it's going to bring your site menu in, and it's not going to make it feel so overwhelming because there's so many items up there. So that is definitely what I would look at and talk about. Now, the other thing too is on your portfolio here, if I scroll down to the bottom, here really quick, there are no categories or keywords here. So your portfolios are public galleries. You can take the time to keyword those and categorize those, and that's going to help your search results. But it has to be set to show here on the gallery page. and that will show up down here at the bottom. So definitely something that you want to take advantage of for sure. I think, let me just go back. Oh, it's coming up. There's a gallery. I'll show you what it looks like where they have the categories and keywords. So another thing to think about is having that down here at the bottom as well. And while I'm down here at the bottom, we've got the footer menu showing, and let me just get myself out of the way so you guys can see the whole thing. And again, down here we have Pinterest, and like I said, not very active on Pinterest, probably something you want to think about removing. We have the site menu, which is okay, but is this stuff that's really necessary to be showing? Again, anything that people might get distracted by, especially on the portfolio, I try to tend and remove that. Client access for the gallery ID. Is this something that you're using? Are you using client access, or is this just down here because that's the default setting and you haven't changed it? Those are things that you want to be aware of. Make sure that you come and clean up this extra stuff that you're just not utilizing, that it's there and you haven't changed yet. So coming down here on the bottom. All right. All right, so let me scroll back up to the top here, and we'll keep moving on. Let's see, the next thing I want to talk about is, here. We already talked about the site menu. Let's check on the blog really quick. So we're just going to go to the blog, and on the blog post, let's see, let's read this post here really quick. Checking the date, January 1st, 2019. So you got January's down. We're getting really close to the end of February. I'd like to see a February blog post in here if you're going to be consistent on your blog. Otherwise, guys, if you're not going to be consistent, do yourself a favor. Don't stress over it. Go ahead and remove the blog and focus your attention somewhere else. This one is July 12th of 2018. So that's July, August, September, October, November, December, January. That is seven months between blog posts. I would probably, if you're not going to blog post at least once a month, I would probably remove the blog and focus your attention somewhere else, because there's nothing worse than going to a blog as a potential client, seeing July 12th and it's February, right? So think about that. Either be consistent or focus your attention somewhere else. And again, these are just my opinions, guys. I'm not a blogger at all, but blogging is very important. So if you're going to do it, just do it consistent. It's good for your SEO, but there are a lot of benefits. But if you're not going to focus your attention on it, go ahead and remove it. And that way you can focus your attention and your website's visitors' attention to where you want it to focus. All right, let's see. Last thing on this site really quick, though, let's go to the About page. And so right here, this is a really cool photo. I saw this and I was like, wow, this is really creative. But a couple of things that I want to kind of just caution you about. One, I don't know what your name is. So I've looked around everywhere on this site and it just says AM Imagery. I'm not sure if that's AM or AM. Now here's that logo that I'm talking about that I saw down here. If this is your logo, I'd like to see that on the rest of your site. But if it's not your logo, I would get your logo up and make it consistent. But I haven't seen your name, and now I haven't seen your face. So as a potential client, I'm left wondering what to call you and wondering what you're going to look like, right? So this photo is really cool, but I would like to see at least a headshot or something of you in here. Or if you do video, a video would be awesome as well. So a great video in here would be really nice. This is a really creative photo, but I don't know what your name is. I don't know what you look like. And I think so far, I don't even know where you're at yet. So these are things to think about, guys. What you look like, what your name is, where you service. I don't know any of that information yet. And think about how many pages I've looked at already on this site. So now if I go to the contact, this is where I finally realized that you're in Nashville. Okay, so it took me all the way to the last menu item to figure out where you're at, but I still don't know your name. So something to think about, but this is a great start. You've just got some minor things to go in and adjust, some consolidating to do, and then some information you need to add in here. And I think you can take this website to the next level and really get it cleaned up and get that information. And I think you'll be good to go. So looking forward to doing the session with you, going back over this stuff and making sure that we get this all up to par and looking good. But great start so far. All right, now we're going to jump over to John McCormick's website. Let me toss this link in the chat for you guys. Donna tossed her link in there. I'm going to toss the link to that website that I just checked out. And then this is Michigan Nut, also John McCormick, who's hanging out with us today. And if you guys haven't checked his work out yet, this is not a plug. I just want to say, seriously, his reviewing his site has made me see Michigan totally different. My mind was always thinking of Michigan and seeing Detroit. Guys, you got to go check his page out. It will make you see Michigan in a whole different light. But let's just go ahead and start on his site design. The homepage here, guys, check it out. The homepage is using a grid, but this is using a special grid. It's using a grid from a group. So these are actually images from a gallery, and it has the gallery title here that you can actually click and go into that specific gallery. So now you're going into that gallery. So if you're looking for a way to display the diversity of your work on your homepage and you want to make it functional, a grid is a really good way to do that. In this case, the grid that's showing is from a group page. So as soon as I click on one of these images, I'm actually going into that gallery. So let's just scroll down here and I'll let you take a look. You can also see the name of the gallery is right here as well. And we're just scrolling down, scrolling down. So if I had to complain about anything on here, John, it's that I have to scroll for a little bit to see everything. And I know that your puzzles are new, and that's like halfway down the page. But other than that, I mean, I think this is a great start. Now, I know that you are using the search function on your website. So I'll just go full screen so you guys can see it. So John has that search function right down here on this little overlay thing. And I know that he's using the search function. I know he's keywording his photos and all of that. So in that case, having that search feature on here is going to work because it's actually going to bring up content that he wants people to find using the search. All right. One of the things, John, Google Plus is going to be gone in a couple of weeks or months, I believe. I'm not sure when. You might consider pulling that Google Plus button down. They are discontinuing Google Plus. But other than that, oh, and the RSS reader too. I was kind of in that generation that missed the RSS readers. I don't know if you guys still use that or not. But again, that might be something where people are clicking on it and getting confused as to what they're seeing. Because if you're not familiar with an RSS reader and you click on that, you get a page that looks like this, which is a little crazy looking. And so that might be something you think about removing here, is that RSS feed button. All right. Let me bring myself back where you guys can see me. Man, I gotta step it up a little bit. I'm going to be running out of time and not have time to get any questions. But I got to take time for some tea. Okay. So let's see the galleries. Let's just click on a gallery really quick and we'll take a look. I'm going to go with your Lighthouse galleries just because they are phenomenal. So here are your Lighthouse galleries. Now the favorites button up here is probably fine to leave. I don't know if you guys if you're using that for your clients at all, if they're using it for some kind of image selection or whatever. If you're not using favorites and you don't want anybody to use that, go ahead and turn that off. The sequence number up here, I'm not a big fan of the sequence number, and let me tell you why I'm not a fan. That's because that sequence number is not tied to this image. It's tied to this image in this image's position in the gallery. So on the back end of Zenfolio, if you were to move this image over here, this photo would now become number one. And sometimes that can be confusing. You do have the photo titles here already showing, so that's a pretty good way for people to identify. So you might consider turning that sequence number off up here if you don't need it. That's just something that kind of overlays on the photo, and if you don't need it, you might consider turning it off. So just scrolling down here, taking a look. Lots of good images in here. The gallery is set up really nice. Lots of beautiful photos. And I like the grid that you're using here. I like how it breaks it up. So it looks like you're using a dynamic grid that I think is grid. It's either grid A or grid B. I think this is grid A. And the reason that's important is because grid A makes those portrait orientated images larger than the horizontal images, which in a landscape gallery like this, I think actually works pretty nice. If this was a portrait gallery, I would probably go the opposite direction because your subjects in the horizontal photos are going to be smaller and harder to identify. And so for portfolios, for portraits, I usually go with the other option. Now, one of the things over here that I did notice is the buy button over here, the little drop shadows and stuff like that. I would probably take that off, and this is just being nitpicky. I would probably take that off just so it kind of matches up with your logo up here with that blue. So just kind of bringing that back to kind of match the flatness of this logo, I think would be a lot more beneficial than having that shadow up here on the buy button. Also, too, the social media buttons, if you are not using those or if people are not using them, you might think about turning those off. There is the share button already up here. And in most cases, I usually tell people probably to turn the number of photos off. But in this case, for landscape photography, for fine art photography, it's probably fine to leave that up there on the top. All right, so let's see. Let me just keep going here. And one of the things that I caught the other day, too, when I was reviewing this is if I click on a photo, one thing to think about, John, is that right now you can see it's kind of taking some time to get to the shop. Let me go back again and just try clicking on another photo really quick. Click on a photo. One of the things is that this is using both the visit shop and the quick shop. So this is the visit shop and the quick shop. You might think about turning one or the other off. The visit shop requires a lot more clicking by the viewer. It's a lot more presentational. Is that a word? Presentational? If it's not, it's a word now. And so it presents things a lot more visual, but it also takes a lot more clicks. And so one of the things I found people get confused by is if you have both options up there, they get confused by, is there more things in the visit shop versus the quick shop? So you might think about using one option over the other here. But overall, I think your galleries are set up nice. Let's go ahead, and I'm trying to pick up the pace a little bit. Let's move on to your products here. So if we go to the products page here, one of the things I caught is there's a couple of blank site menu items in here. I don't know if the pages were deleted, but if you click on them, they open up to a blank page that doesn't do anything. So that might be something that you, whoops, go back here. I just closed it out. There we go. But that, I don't know if the page got deleted or what, but that might be something that you think about taking care of here. It's just these blank site menu items on there. Also, too, under products, some of these site menu items, if we scroll down to the very bottom, they have a PayPal option here. And I think you were probably just putting this up there so people can see that you do accept PayPal, which is perfectly fine. But I noticed that if I click on that, it actually takes me and tries to get me to log into PayPal. So I don't know if that's an option that you want right here on this page. That might be something where you need to go in and look at that code and remove that option. All right. The other thing as well down here is that, again, Google Plus is going away pretty soon. Also on here, the Michigan Nut Photography Facebook thing. This is really nice, but if you click on this promote your page, it takes you to Facebook and tries to get you to open an account. So those are some things that are probably embedded objects, which are fine, but you might want to go in there and take a look at that code and remove the pieces of the code that's trying to take people away from your Zenfolio account or away from your Facebook page. That way people aren't ending up somewhere they didn't mean to end up. All right, let me scroll back up to the top here really quick, and let's see. Also, too, some of the, I think some of this information could probably be condensed together a little bit so there's not so many different pages to go over, and then you could link to different sections of that page with anchor links in a custom page, and that's something that we can talk about in our session. So it's something to think about there. And let me see, trying to make sure that I hit all of my points here. Also, let's go to the contact page. And I'm not going to complain, John, because your site says Michigan Nut right up on the top. So I already know what location you're in, at least what state. And it also has your name up there as well. So I already know your name. So those are two big deals, at least for me. Let's go to bio really quick and let's take a look. So we're going to go to bio. Nice photo of John right up here. Some good information about John. Some examples of his work. He's even got a video, which is cool, and talks about his gear and stuff here as well. So overall, John, really great page. One of the things I thought was weird about this profile is that it takes me away from your Zenfolio account. So I lose all my navigation up here. I'm not sure why that's happening. So that might be something you want to look at. But overall, I think you did a great job on your site. Just a few things here and there, and we can definitely go over that stuff during our session. All right, but great job, great site. Beautiful work, John, beautiful work. All right, let's jump to our next one. I'm going to try to speed through this, guys. I know I've been super long-winded. This is Mike Bano, Forward Exposure. So let me jump down here really quick, and I'll throw that link out in the chat for you guys as well. All right, so let's go here. So first of all, we're going to look at the homepage images. Hey, Mike, one of the things I noticed really quickly out the gate is that at least this homepage image appears to be just a little pixelated, that one that I was at. So if I go back, my guess is that your homepage gallery, whatever is assigned to this full screen website, if you go in and you look at photo protection under the access tab, there is a setting where you can change the display image size. And my guess is that these are set to be a little bit smaller, which is why some of them might be a little pixelated. So that's definitely one thing to check out as well. Just going through really quick. The other thing that I noticed too is I feel like I'm getting to your more recent work the further we progress into this. I feel like I'm getting to your more recent work the further we progress into this slideshow. And if that's the case, you want to go back to that homepage gallery, make sure that you're reorganizing it so that your clients are seeing your best and most recent work first. All right. So definitely go in there and make sure that you have your best and your most recent work showing first on this homepage, because I feel like I'm just now coming into your more recent stuff. Next on the site menu over here, as we just saw there, let me go back. That vertical site menu is really nice. It's a nice way to make your homepage look different, but you want to be careful that you don't lose the site menu items up in the image like we are right here. The other thing as well, let me get myself out of the way here. You got some of your site menu items were a little confusing. We'll go through that in just a minute. Let's create something beautiful. This is awesome. But Mike, where are you at? I would love to know where you're at on this first page, so that if I'm a potential client, even though I found your website looking for photographers or videographers near me, I still know, oh, he works here because it says so right here. So I can keep going with confidence and know that that I'm not wasting my time by looking at a photographer that I can't even hire because they don't work in my area. So let's create something beautiful as nice. Consider adding some location information in here as well. And while I'm down here, let's get rid of that RSS read feed. You guys, let me know what you think in the chat. I think the RSS feed thing is a little confusing, especially for people who don't know what it is. When they click on there and they get this page, if I didn't know what it was, I would probably think something is broken. What do you guys think in the chat? Well, let's go back here. All right, so your site menu items, let's talk about that. I was just a little confused. I went to weddings and I was expecting weddings to be like a wedding portfolio. But this is a book a consultation page. So I've seen a few images, right? But you're already asking me to book a consultation. I haven't really got a chance to I clicked the first site menu item that was there. And I don't know where you're at or if you're a destination photographer. And I've only seen 3 images, and now we're looking at book a consultation. So that might just be a process that you might want to rethink a little bit. You know, you kind of want to date first. So that might be something you might want to rethink the organization of that there. But another thing too, like right up here, you have this text information right here. That'd be a great place to add some location information. But if you want my honest opinion, I would have weddings and and the portraits and all this stuff is the same as well. These are really great custom pages, Mike. Let me just put that out there. You've done a great job with these custom pages. I'm just a little confused by them coming first, and I was expecting portfolio galleries rather than booking pages. So the portfolio galleries are actually over here. And so what you might want to do is rename that portfolio, pull that up over here, and then throw this weddings inside of portraits and rename these book me or book a consultation or something like that. So it's a little clearer on what these pages do, because I was expecting a portfolio. I saw a few images and then book a free consultation, and I still am not sure what areas you service. If you travel, that's perfectly fine. Let us know that you're a destination photographer and that you'll travel to us. I don't know that yet, and so I'm a little confused. Okay, let me go back really quick, and let's just go try out a couple of these other ones. We'll go down to senior portraits, and right here, again, same thing. This is a booking page. Awesome page, Mike. Great job on the custom pages. Really cool integration with the book button right here. And then just all this information that you have here, I think is fantastic. You did a great job here. I'm just confused because I wanted to see a portfolio first. And so I would just consider the reorganization of that. Let's go ahead and jump to the video page. All right, so we got a video, and we actually have a video here, so thumbs up to that. And I watched this video. Mike, you've got a great on-camera personality, so it was a really great video. I enjoyed watching it. And you've got some good information down here, and you've got some example work. And so this is more what I was looking for. Is there's actually examples of this here that I can look at. Let's go to your galleries really quick. All right, and so we're going in here looking at your galleries, and this was your wedding engagements and portraits. You've got a nice utilization of the gallery caption. I feel like the gallery caption is definitely one of the most underused parts of the client galleries. You guys can do a lot with those gallery captions, including putting some links and things in here. And then finally here today, or here, not today, finally here, I get to where you're based out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. So I had to go to all the way over to here and get to this site menu item before I found where it was located, where you were located at. So just something to think about. Just scrolling down really quick. Again, we've kind of, and some of the stuff that I've brought up in other reviews earlier kind of apply to this. And so I'm trying not to bring up a bunch of the same stuff. But hovering over this, we've got sequence number, we've got the favorites, we've got the social media stuff. Is this stuff that needs to be showing on a portfolio? You guys tell me in the chat. What do you think? Scrolling down, scrolling down. All right, you've got a lot of images in here, like a lot of images. I would try to keep the portfolio limited to just your best. And you know, maybe set a limit. I'm going to use 15 of my best images and that's it. And that's going to keep you constantly updating your portfolio, because when you can get into the habit of just adding more images and adding more images and adding more images, then you don't get in the habit of making sure that you're keeping just your best work represented here. So I would think of just your best photos here. Go to like 10 to 15. And that way people can see how good you are and they don't get lost in just scrolling through a bunch of images. You've got their attention. They like your work. You want them to contact you. You don't want them to go through and browse hundreds of photos. You want to get their attention and get them to contact you. And so for me, I think the galleries here, I was just confused by the portraits title of this and the galleries. I would put weddings in here, call it booking or book me, and then have your different booking options here. And then for your galleries, I would consider renaming that to portfolio, moving that to the front, and maybe adding video in that. Let's check out your contact page. Contact page is the Zenfolio contact page, which is perfectly fine to do. Another place where I finally see that you're in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So nice to see that information here. This is perfectly fine. Let's go to your About Me page. All right, Mike, great photo. Love the hair. Believe it or not, there was a point in my life when I could do that with my hair. Now I would just have a really crazy halo going on. Super jealous of the beard, though. I've always wanted to grow a long beard, but I've just never been able to get past the itchy stage. So thumbs up on that. Mike, you're a video guy and you have a great on-camera personality. I would love to see a really awesome About You video here on this page. I think it would just really set things off and really give people an introduction to you. But you've got a lot of good information in here. You know, you've got a lot of different information here that's nice. And then you have these links down here as well. So taking advantage of those places where you can put in actions that people can take is a really great job right here. Having this information is awesome. Let's go to testimonials real quick. Check out the testimonials page. Guys, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to any of your questions today or not. Let's see. Testimonials. Got a lot of good information here. Lots of photos. I mean, this is a great page, Mike. I think this is awesome that you have this here. People can come here and read your clients' testimonials. And then you have the book a consultation. It looks like you've got this source from Google Business Reviews. So great job on that. Let's hit up your blog really quick. Check out that. Blog, January 18th. August 24th. All right. So it's time to get another blog post up, Mike, so that you keep that one. So you at least have one every month. Otherwise, you might consider refocusing your attention. Last thing I'll bring up is going over here to that site menu. We've got the search bar here. And as you guys can see, it's a little ugly in here when it just kind of goes over everything. But as I was showing you earlier, you can click on it and it looks like, let me just do a search really quick. Let's say portraits. Let's see if this actually works. All right, and so that's going to be searching the blog, which is fine because we're on the blog page. But is this something that we need? Is it something we want people playing around with? Make sure that you're thinking about that, asking yourself these questions. If you're just saying, if you ask yourself, is this something that I need? And the answer is, I don't know. I would turn it off and remove it and clean up the site a little bit. Overall, Mike, I think you've done a great job. Maybe just some reorganization of your site menu, clarifying a little bit of things with the way you name it. Great work on the custom pages. Great work on your site. So let me just get back over here really quick and let me see if I can catch up to you guys on chat really quick. You guys have been pretty busy. I know I took a long time today. I'm so sorry. But let me see if I have some questions here that I can get answered really quick over here. Thorben, will it be a problem that my homepage is in German for the review? Probably not. I'm not going to be really hardcore critiquing the names, and I might actually try to do like a translation of the page, Thorben, so that when I do the review, I can read what the names are and be clear on what I'm talking about. I will do my best, and if nothing else, it will probably be extremely entertaining to watch me try and pronounce some of the things that you have on your site menu. So I'm looking forward to that. Hey, really quick while I have you guys' attention on chat, there is a poll. If you haven't taken it yet, please take 2 seconds and take that poll. You can click on the little info icon that's like right up here. It's going to pop out a little poll. Answer that and let me know. Do you guys think that we should do site reviews only once a month? Do you think I should do them every week at the end of Thursday's live stream? Or do you guys think that it would be better to do an additional weekly live stream that focuses on site reviews? Click that poll, take that poll really quick. Let me know what you guys think. Thorben says, creating custom pages. How do I get normal space and not double? I think that was answered in chat, but if you guys are working on custom pages, you might have noticed that when you hit enter, that you get a double space instead of a single one. That's because you need to hold shift when you hit enter so that you get that single space up on your custom page rather than it going to a double space. So just the shift enter rather than an enter. Is there a video on the click action to links? That's a great question. I don't know if I've made a video of that yet or not. If I have, it's going to be either gallery captions or something like that. Let me just show you really quick how to do it. So we've got a few minutes. I'm not sure who asked this question, but here's how you make click actions on links. So if I'm in a gallery right here, and let's say we want to put a link in this gallery. We go to details right here, and you write in something in the caption, highlight that, hit the little link tool, and then paste in your link. So you can say like google.com. Now, if you're taking people away from your Zenfolio site, you want to make sure that this opens up to a new window. So click that, hit OK, and then save that. And then as long as your captions are showing, that link will be visible. All right, guys, if you're interested in having your website reviewed, make sure that you hit up the link in the description below this video and submit your site. Also, if you're watching the recorded version of this, I'd love to have you come hang out with me on a live stream, but I know not everybody can stop what they're doing and do it, which is why I'm so thankful for those of you guys who do. But make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and click that link for questions for next week. And all of you guys who are still hanging out with me live, if you could click that thumbs up button, I would really appreciate it. Make sure that you click that thumbs up button, and I'll see you guys next week. Hey, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you click that subscribe button. And if you're watching the recorded version of this and you'd like to learn more about Zenfolio, I recommend watching some of the videos that you should see popping up on your screen.